Greetings, my fair fellows. How are you this day? I am quite well, thank you. So well, in fact, I shall make a short summary and explanation of my theory on my deep ancestry, received back from doing numerous genealogical, ancestral, and archaeogenetic tests and research. I will start off with this, a brief explanation of archaeogenetics. It's a big word, yeah? When archaeologists unearth skeletons in their work, and they use the same type of ancestry testing available to consumers online, you can find and compare these skeletons to see if you relate to them and how you relate to them. I have found out that I relate to the landmass Doggerland, that was situated in the North Sea between England, France, and Denmark 7,000 years ago before it sunk. I find direct archaeogenetic matches on all sides of where Doggerland would have been, so this is what has always piqued my interest. The first time I went to sketch what the sunken landmass would have looked like, it felt as if I drew it from a memory I never experienced. A déjà vu, as the French would say. For when I went to look at an interpretation of what Doggerland looked like from academics thoroughly researched on the area, I was taken back by the striking similarities therein. I have heard it described as being a very marshy, wet place by Herr Russell, much like the Fens in England. But since it is at the bottom of the North Sea, it is up to anyone's interpretation what it is like, and this is mine. It is set in time towards the end of Doggerland's lifespan, when much of it has already sunken into the North Sea. Along the top, the fellows mounted on domesticated walrus, or I1 haplogroup, a Nordic hunter-gatherer bloodline enshrouded in mystery as to when and where exactly their mutation first happens, and where they were for much of the Neolithic, up until the Bronze Age, when they become assimilated into and learn from the early cultures of the first proto-corded were R1A Eastern hunter-gatherers, encroaching on the juicy meadows that the I2 continental European hunter-gatherer inhabits, and has fought for against early European farmers, claw-tooth and club for his right to waterfowl and assorted small game of the region. We have the Bronze Age R1B Western steppe herder cowboys, as I like to call them, that most Western Europeans are descended from today. Although they may not have had horses when Doggerland was around, I could not justify including them without their beloved horsies, out of respect to my mother's side. The endgame results of these specific peoples mixing is the modern Germanic sphere, entailed by a small variance of female mitochondrial DNA that is passed down mother to daughter and makes up for the phenotypical variances found in these regions, as R1B Bronze Age cowboys make up the vast majority of Western Europeans' Y-DNA haplogroup. It was the U-mtDNA of the Paleolithic and accompanying hunter-gatherers of Northern Europe, and the H-mtDNA of the early European farmers in Southern Europe that left genetic imprints long after the majority of their men had been outcompeted by the R1B Bronze Age cowboys, like in Hispania, or should I say, Hispania? My next video will entail dates and locations of familial mitochondrial and Y-DNA matches from the Bronze Age until now and make some workable sense out of their migration theories. Perhaps you too have taken some of these tests and are curious what the data says about your deep ancestry. Your ancestors watch and listen to your life like a YouTube stream. When you feel light from the darkness and warmth in your innest inner when times feel cold, that is them super chatting to you from the beyond, that they still care, that they did their best, and they wish for you to do your best. Auf Wiedersehen, mein schönen Leute.